Yes, people, welcome back to CAS or MUFC CAS. Welcome to me. Make sure you like and subscribe. Joined by Alice again. Big up to her. Thank you for coming on again, I suppose. But we've got, I don't know, we was just talking and literally we spoke about what 4 subjects in the space of 1 minute. How you feeling anyways? It's optimistic? Optimistic for Arsenal?
Do you know what? Yeah, do you know what? Arsenal just aren't that good at the moment. Like, no Saka, no Party. They
Nowhere
need
near it.
an attacker.
Wait, hold on.
No, no
No
Saka, no
Partey.
Party. Is it not the player Party?
I was
Like,
gonna say, I was like, oh,
celebration
don't get
party.
me gassed.
I just realised what that sounded like for a second. I was like,
Yeah.
they needed an attacker when Saka was fit. Saka's injured. They need an attacker now, and I just think we go there, we part the bus.
Do we need to part the bus? We didn't part the bus last time. This time we got Mainoo and dare I say Lissandro, even though we all wanted him dropped.
I know, and then like
Options.
I fancy us a little bit. Do you know what?
Yeah.
End their season, no trophies. That'd be funny.
Nothing new then, isn't it? But yeah, big up. Anyways, man, we're going to be talking about all the transfers and stuff. But let's get one thing straight and out the way. This Mainoo stuff has gone way beyond. And you know what? It's the same patterns. Have you not noticed this season how other journalists, certain channels are now starting to try to get onto Mainoo? The new target.
Scapegoat.
Exactly.
Not playing. Who we're gonna blame? Oh,
That's the one. Blame the 19-year-old. That's what we're gonna do because that's what we're all credible about. We see that Chelsea's leading the race through Chris Wheeler, and I'm thinking, what race is there like for him? And then you got Jamie Jackson saying not only is Mainoo up for sale, Yoro, Mazraoui, and everyone else that we've just bought can also get it. Basically, one of the worst United journalists I've ever seen is Jamie Jackson.
Oh, 100%.
And Alex Crook.
Yeah.
And then I'm not even gonna put. I wouldn't even put Ben Jacobs in that category, and he's cheeks, but I'd put him a little bit more lower than them.
Custis is dog level as well.
Yeah, dog. Don't know what's wrong with him. But the Chris Wheeler thing just bamboozled me a little bit. Just thinking he's not crap, like he's not garbage. I wouldn't say he's a tier 1 anymore from before.
He's a mouthpiece for agents, I think.
Yeah, I've kind of gathered that, and maybe it's like Mainoo's agent trying to get a deal going or whatever. But it's always been said that Mainoo's contract situation is going to be progressed after Ahmad's done. That's what I don't get. And all of a sudden, it's coming like, oh, he wants 200 grand a week, and the one to lap it up is obviously the big channel that represents our club. And all of a sudden, it's all gone Pete Tong. I'm like, they dare try to make Kobbie Mainoo a target, mate. I'll make it a vendetta to keep bashing that channel and making sure people understand, because that's just not on. Don't get me wrong, the key word, and through David Ornstein, obviously the tier 1, where people need to understand, like, if the key word is if a big offer comes in for any player can get sold. If someone bids 100 million or 120 million for Kobbie Mainoo, you're probably thinking as a United fan, like, yeah, maybe. No, would you take that? How much would you accept for him? I mean, it's a ridiculous offer. Not going to happen.
100+ million. You have to think about it. Like, I love Mainoo, and I'm like, I think this kid could be like in that category where Real Madrid are looking at him. Do you know what I mean? I think he's got it. Like, and maybe I'm overrating him, but like for what he is at 19, it reminded me a little bit like when I used to watch Pedri before the injuries. Like, there was something about him for me. But if 100 million comes knocking on the door, and Ruben Amorim likes him, but Ruben Amorim thinks there's a better fit, then you do think about it. But Kobbie Mainoo was probably in maybe the 4 players at this club right now, or 5 players at this club right now, I wouldn't consider selling.
Untouchable, in my opinion. But one is touchable. Pause that. Don't take it that way. That can get sold. It is Garnacho. There's rumors today as well. Atletico are keeping tabs. PSG might be interested as well in his services. And they're talking. I don't know how much exactly, but it's just interest. But again, another one. I don't know about what you think, Alice. I just don't think he's going to be moving this window. I feel like this isn't FIFA. This isn't Football Manager. You can't just move 5-6 players in a January win. It just doesn't happen. 2-3 players max, in my opinion. And I think they're quite the obvious ones. I think it would be a little bit stupid to let Garnacho go right now, because I don't trust our board, or let alone this club, to get someone back in quick enough. I think it might be better to let him run out the season and then get maybe a bigger price potentially, or more suitors. You're on mute, by the way.
Yeah. I think Garnacho's so young and like, yeah, he's been a bit hit and miss, but he's so young and so raw that he's still got time to develop. We've still got like, do you know what I mean? It's like Rashford
Yeah.
is they're getting out. Rashford is who Amarim wants gone. And then after Rashford, I think they'll look at a Casemiro or a bigger name. And I think with Garnacho, like for me, Mainoo's untouchable, but the reason like Garnacho is touchable is because I don't 100% know if he's going to be a long-term fit for Amarin's system, because he's best in a 4-3-3 as a wide sort of winger rather than being this sort of 10 and coming in. He likes the width and all of that. And I think, you know, Amarin may look at Garnacho and even like a player like Dalot. And I think that Dalot is a solid player, technically good, like, you know, can help all round. But Dalot isn't a good crosser, he isn't a wing back. There's players like Garnacho and Dalot that I think are good players that, or like good potential with Garnacho, that can go to and get a bit of money and actually play for a high level club. But actually, maybe Amarin will look at selling them because they're sellable. Eriksen, Lindelof, you're going to get nothing for. Maguire, you wouldn't really get much for. There's a lot of players that Kobbie won't get much for. Whereas you've got to look at the fit for the system. And I just, with Garnacho, he's so young, he's so raw, he could be moulded. I thought he had a good cameo versus Liverpool, and you know, we've seen moments of him this season. He has good games, he has bad games, he's hit and miss. I like that he's direct, I like that he can come from inside to out, but I don't know if he's a long-term fit for Amarin's system. Obviously he can be adapted because of his age and it is all about potential, but I think he is one that, not in January, I don't think they would look at selling him in January, but in the summer, as you said, they can get a bit more money for him. Amarin might say, I'm open to this sale. Because if Atletico Madrid come in with 60 million and Amarin says, I'm open to this sale, they might say, well, we can invest that and get Amarin more signings.
Exactly. Well, for me, I don't think even if we did play 4-3-3, I don't think Garnacho's it. I don't think he's the quality. I just think he lacks too much IQ, in my opinion. I think he's a good goal scorer, but bar that, I don't think he'd be long term for us, anyways. I just don't. I'm just not. I just think he's a good player. That's it. Like I think he'll turn into a good, solid player, and that's what he'll be. But right now, we need more than that. Unfortunately, that's not his fault. I feel like his development could have went a little bit better if our situation in and around the club was a lot better. He's just, again, another one of those where a product of the garbage at United, you know what I mean? Like Rashford, Marcel, name all the other youngsters if you wish. Kobbie Mainoo was nearly, because he's got pure talent, you know, that's salvageable to make sure he's on the correct track from this instance, in my opinion. Garnacho, who needs a bit more of a, I don't know, like a leader to look up to learn off of. We just don't have that. We just don't have that for him.
He's been nurtured like the class of like 92, thrown into like a better environment.
And he's been overused. For me, he's been way overused. 100%. He's an impact player. He's still, what, 20? Is he 19 or 20? Like, again, I just don't think he's it. But I think if you can go and get pure profit for him, because he did cost what, like 200k or something like that. Literally, you can't say no to it. But moving on, is the one that is the club is this whole Nuno Mendes stuff, or Nuno Mendes, as the Portuguese would call him. I don't know what to make out with this with PSG. You made a good point off stream, obviously, about it, but like it's two ways for me with him, because he's a solid player, and I'm thinking, why would PSG want to get rid? Right? Maybe it's a Luis Enrique thing. Maybe don't get along with him, or something along them lines, or he's eager to have a new challenge, go into the Prem and play in a position he's more comfortable in. I don't know. Is his agent using United's name? Probably not. He's actually on the list, so there is interest, but like, if he really wants to come, why does he not hand in a transfer request? What's wrong with that? You know, they say he doesn't want to sign a new deal, but PSG thinks they can. And we saw how PSG dealt with us with Agate. It was late. They dragged it. And you said that, I think you made a great point. If you want to repeat it again, if you don't mind, is
what was the point I made? I can't remember now.
Oh, like obviously with Nuno Mendes about like thinking that United's going to pay up.
Yeah, I mean, potentially if there's sales, United might pay up at the end of the January window. Maybe PSG upset 40 million because Nuno Mendes pushes for it. He's got I think a year and a half left on his contract.
Year and a half, 18 months, yeah.
And they might say, you know what, he's going to have a year left in the summer. He ain't going to sign. United, if we get 40 million, let's say Casemiro goes, Rashford goes, and they drop 40 million for him, and he puts the pressure on, they might say, you know what, there's a good left back market out there to replace him.
He's my top target out of Kirkes and all that. I like Kirkes, but I think Mendes is just better.
No, I agree with you on that. I like Kirkes, but I think Mendes going forward just has a little bit more in his game.
Yeah. What was you going to say? Sorry.
I was just literally going to say, I think with the the Nuno Mendes situation, I think Enrique can be quite a stubborn manager, and he's not always the best at profiling his players correctly, which is something that Ten Hag did at times. And I think, with Nuno Mendes, he wants him to be more of a back four fullback. Like Dalot would suit PSG more than Nuno Mendes would. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Nuno Mendes would suit United more than like Dalot would, for example. And I think Nuno Mendes likes to get forward. He likes that attacking role, and Ruben Amorim would offer him that at Manchester United. Apparently, he's on like barely any money at PSG as well. Like compared to like what United players are on. I can't remember what it was. I think someone said it was like 27k a week, which is like loads of money for like everyone else, but like compared to United players, nothing. Like, quite affordable deal to do, and 80.
Yeah, he's on about 27.6 thousand euros per week. Nothing.
Yeah, that's like 24k, 23k, which compared to like United players,
he'd easily get triple that here. Easy.
Yeah,
you want what? We can give you 70 grand a week or 80 grand. There you go.
100%, and he wouldn't even be one of the higher earners on 78 grand.
No, you just take Lindelof. Let's go take Lindelof's wages.
Exactly. So it's affordable, the wages, and if he pushes for the move, but we need a sale to do that. And also PSG, as we mentioned off stream, they're a bit of a difficult club to negotiate with. They like
with us especially, yeah. Look at a guy. I think they're asking for 50 million. They wanted a guy for 60. We got a Ugarte in the end for what, 52 million or something like that. With Nuno Mendes, it's more like you'd hope it would go down to 40 million. But then I'm thinking, well, hold on. In the summer with Ugarte, who's a midfielder, by the way, who's just as young, I believe. He's at that point might have been 22. He's 23 now. But he might have been 23 already. I don't know. I can't remember when he's 24. May, I think. That case, summer, he had lots of years left on his deal. We got him for that 50 million valuation. He wants to leave. Now, Nuno Mendes wants to leave. It's like, well, hold on. He's a fullback, wing back. He's just as old as a. I might be wrong here because I'm not even looking at his profile. He could be like 21 for all I know. But for me, it's like, surely he's got 18 months. He's been at your club for a little bit. He doesn't want to sign a new contract. I know they're meant to meet his representatives. Then his representatives might say, no, he wants to leave. He doesn't want to sign a new deal. Then surely it's like, cool, we'll let him go for if we meet the price. And I'll say 35 million is a fair deal. If we can get 35 million for United, I think that's a steal in its own version in January, rather than the summer. Because summer, I don't think they get that. I think they get about 30 million. You got a year left. I think clubs will wait for that if they need to.
I think with his injury record, we could say 35 million, he's got an injury record, or we'll come get him in summer when he's got a year left on his deal. Because at the worst case scenario, and I don't know if he'd come to United, but you can just trigger Alvaro's buyback clause to get you to the end of the season, and then
he cheaper, 60 million, and then his can come in for like 30 million. And this is just wishful thinking. This is just figures that we hope for, but I think he has to be main target number one. They're also asking for like 50 million if he wants to leave this window. That's just not happening. And right now, you know what? To be fair, I don't know what Bournemouth's funds are like. They just lost both their strikers. So Evan Nilsson's out, and now that Unal's out as well. So they're going to be looking for a striker.
Yeah,
don't think they're going to be willing to.
Bournemouth. They signed the Soler guy.
But the young one. But they needed to. They got no other cover over on that side. No one else can play that. Do you know what I mean? So they're just improving their squad. Yeah, exactly. He comes in, he'll be the Kirkes replacement. I'm pretty sure, and they go buy somebody else. But for me, Mendes is just, he's just the one. He's just got all the tools in his locker for me, And I just feel like he already knows the system a little bit, so he should be able to bed in. But the whole point is, can he fit into the Premier League quickly? Because we're talking, we could have another Everest situation. Monaco comes in first 6 months, awful, and then he has to adapt, and then obviously we get the Everett that we all like known and loved as well at the same time. Do you think he lands straight away?
It's a difficult one because he's not really had loads and loads of minutes the last 2 seasons. I mean, like he's had good minutes this season, but he's obviously injury issues. It's a difficult one. I think he knows Amorim's system, and I think like Ugarte came in, he landed from PSG, knew Amorim's system. I think he's one of those where, because I was talking left backs, and we've obviously been linked to Dorgu as well, and I said from what I've seen of Dorgu, he's a player that does really well, but he's got like the runners around him and the movement around him. And I said, I feel like Dorgu, when Amorim has the other players in and his system's more functioning, could be really good signing, but maybe the system's going to need to function for someone like Dorgu to be successful because he's so young and raw, and a lot of it is to do with the movement around them. Whereas with Nuno Mendes, because he knows Amorim's system and he's got that bit extra quality and experience on Dorgu. I think if you put him in the positions that Delot's been getting, that left wing back, the space that Delot's been getting, and he's putting those crosses in, then surely it works. I'm not too worried about him going forward. It just maybe be like the defensive side of it, just seeing how he deals with the pace and just coming up against more difficult players. But yeah, I think he'd probably fit in.
Yeah, probably would. And I think like the last one is that where does Marcus Rashford end up? He's he's in Milan at the moment. Apparently going to fly over to Barcelona. Germany as well for the Dortmund talks as well. And then now there's Spurs in the running. Spurs. Would you put him on loan to Spurs?
No, I wouldn't. I don't. It makes more sense Arsenal than Spurs, in my opinion, because I think Spurs. I know Son's sort of at that period where Son can only really play one game a week. Obviously, he's a bit poor and leggy. But I look at Tottenham and I think, well, Solanke's up top and then Son can play up top, and Rashford just doesn't do it up top. Like he's better on the wing. But I think we're like Spurs, like Rashford could work in terms of directness and transition, but it's quite a hard working side, and he likes his wingers to be like touchline. And I think Rashford likes the ability to play between the central and the touchline. Like he's a winger, but he likes that bit more freedom to come in centrally. And I think, I don't know, like, and also I just think he might just be put on the right because Son's on the left, and then maybe competes with Brennan Johnson on the right. I think Rashford's a Bundesliga player. I think Rashford is best suited to the Bundesliga. I think he'd be, and I don't think they're going for him, but I think he'd be perfect for Bayern on the left. Kane, Elise, Rashford front three. I think
it makes sense. But Bayern on him for him is Dortmund. All clubs. I don't know if Dortmund. I mean, it fits their price range, I suppose. You know, if they want to say 25, 30, I think it would fit their range. But I just don't. I don't think with Spurs. It's like I thought I saw earlier that Man United don't want to loan Rashford out to a Premier League club.
Yeah, I don't think they would. I think it will be Milan or Dortmund, depending on maybe Rashford's preference.
I think he ends up going to Milan. I think that would be his place.
Like that's been the priority. The fact they've flown over to Milan first. New manager, I think they just won a trophy, like giving them that positive vibes, and like very similar profile to Leao as well. So clearly that's what they want in their players.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think it's just we have to see how it pans out. Other than that, it's just wait and see. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be new news in the next half an hour, 2 hours, something negative, maybe something positive, or one of them crappy old links. Yeah, man. But big up to yourself, anyways. Big up to everyone that's here. Make sure you check out Alice's channel if you don't know who she is yet. She does run a United bit, but it'll be in the title. Other than that, again, smash the likes. Big up Alice, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys. Make sure you show Kaz some love.
Hopefully.